Hello, we're Natalie and Abby, and you are listening to The Sensational Life with Bibic.
Join us to explore the many layers of life through unique and inspiring topics each week. Together, we can create a more inclusive and understanding world, one episode at a time.
Welcome back to our final episode of this series. Today we are just going to be summarising everything executive function, maybe look at some highlights for us for the series that have gone on, and introduce maybe what's happening next series.
We're feeling pretty happy today because we've got two mics, so we both just before this did a little bit of testing before to see if they're working.
Feeling pretty fancy. Bit professional.
So we're hoping that we might have got rid of some of the echoey background noise, but also that one of us isn't quieter than the other.
Normally me, Tinny in the background. That's it.
What are you trying to say? I have a very strong voice, I have you know.
How are you feeling today anyway, Nat?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you, Abby. Yourself?
Yeah, it's good. It's all sunny, isn't it?
Yeah.
April's come out, and April showers have stayed away, luckily, so far.
Yeah.
But it's looking really lovely, and I hope everyone who's listening is having a really nice sunny time as well.
Yeah, I know the last two episodes I was poorly, but we did record those both in the same day, so I can confirm I am better. It did disappear. It wasn't
Didn't go on for months.
No, so feeling better and everything like that. But yeah, so in terms of the podcast, Abby, how have you felt? How's it gone?
I've really enjoyed it, actually. It's got me out of my comfort zone. I have really enjoyed it. I've loved seeing all of the comments and things like that from you guys, and any feedback that you've given us, we have tried to take on board.
Yeah, definitely.
So please do keep commenting, or if there's things that we can improve on. We're all about improving ourselves at Bibic and furthering our learning. So please do comment or send us an email, or if there's anything you'd like us to cover, or just to tell us that you've enjoyed it, because we like to hear seeing those comments as well.
I think I've really enjoyed it as well. I think it's something really out of your. I think you saying about it being out your comfort zone, because it's also I've never been very good with words and stumbling over our words. I know when we've edited, we've gone, oh, let's get rid of the ums, and
So many ums.
had the benefit of doing that. But yeah, I think also like thinking on the spot and trying to sort of hold that conversation, and yeah, using sort of language has always been a challenging thing for me. So I know we sort of have had some jokes as we've gone along as well with some things that we've said. I know I think it was the last episode, wasn't it? The seagulls came in to take a sort of centre stage.
Yeah.
And then sort of knees deep in strategies as well. That's been my favourite.
We've had a few. Eating the frog.
Eating the frog.
That has gone round the office now.
Yeah. No, and I think my favourite thing I've heard from someone is saying that they were in their house doing sort of some cleaning, and my voice came from their kitchen. I thought that was quite good. But yeah, so it's been really good, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and it's been really lovely recording it. So I do hope that listeners have enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, we are just going to sum up executive functioning as effectively as we can.
Yeah.
And we've also got our lovely CEO who's going to round off our first season.
Yeah, and I would like to also say, yes, this is rounding off our first season, but we have got a couple of specials coming, haven't we? We've got
really excited.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I need to give a bit of a disclaimer when it comes to our special that we've got lined up. I think we're recording it next week. Or is it the week after?
Week after.
Week after. Yeah. Me and Abby might for the first time go silent, because the lady that we've got interviewing, she is just so, her voice and the way that she explains things, it might just be that me and Abby go completely silent and we just listen.
We try and absorb everything. Honestly, we had a meeting with her to discuss kind of what we were going to do on the podcast, and Natalie and I were just completely absorbed the moment she opened her mouth.
We said we really wish we press record as we were sort of doing the meeting with her, didn't we? Because we were just so absorbed. So that's really exciting. We're also going to do a bit of a special around our Paws on the Parrot. So Pip does sort of highlight a little bit about that and who's going. But this is a sort of a charity event that we're running. So it's our charity dog walk. We did it last year. It was called Paws for Bibic, and now we're calling it Paws on the Parrot. So last year we did a walk around Weston, and this year we're doing a walk around Langport, going around sort of the River Parrot. And we've got lots of sort of people coming. We're really looking forward to that. So if you are going to come join, please do bring your puppies, or if not, just come along to meet everyone's puppies and just say hello as well. So we're going to do a bit of a special on that as well, aren't we? Just with the run up to that. So we've got some things in the pipeline. In terms of our next series, Abby, you're our big planner, aren't
I'm
you?
the big planner. You're putting me on the spot now because I can't remember, Natalie. We are going to look at schools, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we've got a couple of things in
the pipeline for that, looking at EHCPs
Yeah.
and looking at potential kind of barriers to getting into school.
And all of the sort of things that's potentially families can support with schools, but also things that might be helpful in terms of like that engagement in schools and things like that. So I think it's a little bit of a tricky topic because I think we know how much pressure schools are under, and we know also how much pressure families are under when it comes to sort of education and getting their children into school. So we're hoping to sort of shed some light on that area
Find
as
a
well.
bit of a balance, make the reasonable adjustments where it's not going to cost the world, but actually it could make the world a difference.
Yeah. And it's often quite a topic that we talk to families about, isn't it? That they do ask us those questions around school. So we are sort of going to touch on that. We've got a guest who potentially is going to do a couple of episodes for us as well. We're also planning next season probably to do one every other week, aren't we?
I think so.
Yeah.
We've endeavoured to get them out every week, but for our avid followers, you may have noticed that there are some weeks that we have not quite managed to get it out on time. And that is just because we've been in assessments with other people, and it's just, we're swept off our feet at the moment, aren't we? So going forward,
we thought we'd set a good structure going forward.
Every other week,
Yeah,
we will release an episode.
We're still going to try Fridays though, aren't we? Still going to
go
Fridays.
for Fridays. Yeah.
We're also now recording, so waving at you now if you can see us. So trying to sort of show our face a little bit as well on social. So we're doing that as well. So
just to further put us out of our comfort zone.
I might do a bloopers, you never know.
I'm already the star of your bloopers.
To be fair, there is some dancing clips of me. I think I might be alright.
I think they're mostly of me with the candy cane. For those of you who haven't seen it, did it go up on the website?
Yeah. If you want to go have a look at Abby's wonderful dancing, do go across to our social media. On Instagram, we've got some Makaton bloopers, and Abby is dancing with a candy cane. So, and I'm very proud of that because I made that. So. But anyway, come on, let's sum up what
executive functioning. How is this clearly not kicking in today? Because we are all over the place. So, executive functioning. It lives in the front part of our brain and it's in control of our in-the-moment thinking.
We've done 7 episodes.
Yeah.
And those episodes have included the fight, flight, freeze, fawn. We spoke about that. Emotional control, planning, prioritising, organisation, task initiation, working memory, and impulsivity. So if you haven't listened yet, please go back and listen to the rest of our episodes.
We get better as time's going on.
I don't know about that. We've got a couple of echoey ones.
That's true.
But yeah, so in each one of those, we've tried to touch on the areas, what that means, what the difficulties can look like, who may struggle with that. I think we tried also to ensure that it wasn't just about children, it was about young adults, teenagers, parents, everyone. So as well, not sort of honing in on specific people, talking about everyone as a whole.
Executive functioning it develops from when we're born up until the age of about 25. And as we've discussed and touched on during this season, there are people who may have ADHD, or they may have autism or dyslexia or even dyspraxia that can this can create difficulties within executive functioning, which means that they just find those things more tricky.
Yeah, and I think executive functioning, like you said, Abby, can cross everyone, like could still struggle with their executive functioning because it's just such an important and fundamental aspect of how we run our lives. that actually that someone might still have difficulties with task initiation or their working memory, because they are still individual aspects to it, but it just all sits in our prefrontal cortex.
Yes. I think it depends on kind of what day you're having as well, because I know that there are some days, now that I am educated about executive functioning since coming to BIPIT, and I go, it is really not. It is just really
It's not. I think
not happening
it's not
today.
functioning today.
Not functioning.
No, and I think that's hopefully what we've tried over the season, is to show that actually, yes, there are challenges associated with executive functioning, and yes, they can look like certain ways, but actually, hopefully, with the strategies that we provided, that it might be important that putting these strategies in place is how that individual is able to thrive, but also knowing that they're not. I think I always like with our strategies that they're not really out there things. It's not something really difficult that you've got to try and put in place. Actually, they're quite simplistic things that you can put in place really easily. So, a little bit about each area that we spoke about. We're just going to run through sort of the episodes and what we covered and what that looks like, hopefully giving you a little bit of a nudge to go back and listen. But yeah, just be mindful we do get better as time goes on. Our language gets better. We're not so out of our comfort zones. So the first episode we spoke about fight, flight, freeze, fawn. And I think we decided, didn't we, this was going to be our first episode because it's probably one of those really important aspects to consider when it comes to executive functioning, because not only did that link to like emotional aspects, but sensory as well. So we spoke about that. Abby did give me a tip on what the 5 senses were, because I couldn't remember them. But yeah, we spoke about that and how it has the impact on individuals. So yeah, and how we can support and everything like that.
Episode 2 was all about emotional control, and we talked about Dan Siegel and flipping your lid.
Yeah.
So that's where the executive functioning goes offline, and all you're left with is that kind of monkey brain emotional center. So we spoke about the fact that I'm a crier.
And then I think the following episode, I ensured that Abby, it wasn't the only cry. I made sure I told her I cried too.
But we gave you lots of useful strategies on how we can support with that emotional control. My favourite one is the smashing the ice cubes outside, because it really releases that anger in the physical way that we see lots of children and young adults need, but it's in that appropriate way and they're not hurting themselves or others.
And I think also, thinking back to that episode as well, it can be for anyone, because I know even myself, when you've had a stressful day, when you've sort of struggled, any of those strategies can support for anyone, because everyone has a amygdala, everyone has a fight, flight, freeze, fawn response. Everyone will struggle in that moment thinking, actually, if they're running through that emotion, their executive functioning isn't working. So hopefully it can be useful for everyone, because actually to take that time and to think and actually allow yourself that pause moment, potentially it might be able to support others. We then went into planning and prioritising. So we spoke about sort of how that has an impact. And I think I discussed, didn't I, in that one, the effects on secondary school as well.
Yes.
And that transition part where they go from primary school and then they jump into secondary school and they've got to do their bags, they've got to do their timetable, they've got to jump between lessons and books and things like that. So I think we discussed that slightly in that one as well.
Yeah, and that demand increases, doesn't it?
Yeah.
With all of those things that you were saying. And I think we touched on during this season, whether it was this episode or not, I think it was, but the executive functioning can look like demand avoidance.
Yes.
Because when this doesn't kick in, it's easier to say no than it is to try and break it down, because executive function is not functioning.
Yeah, and I think that is quite an important thing, isn't it? That actually the demand avoidance side of things, where is it actually coming from? Because I think often we have a lot of conversations, don't we, about, is it anxiety? Is it executive functioning? What does that look like? How is that having an impact? What exactly is it impacting?
I think that's the advantage of BIBIC as a whole, because we have that holistic approach here. So if you were to come for an assessment with your children, or whether you came for an assessment as a young adult, we would have a look at the whole picture, not just one area, so you could really see where the difficulties may be stemming from.
Yeah. We then did an episode on organisation. I believe that was our first guest, wasn't it? We got Chelsea in on that one. And yeah, so Chelsea is our head of therapy and business development. So she came in and discussed her experience from a therapist point of view, things that she's used in the past and things that she's recommended. So
Chelsea's top tips.
Yeah, it was Chelsea's top tips for organisation. So we had her in, and that was a really nice episode. I think that episode ended up being mainly strategy based, didn't it? Because I think we discussed quite a lot planning, prioritising, and then organisation. So that was very strategy based.
We then moved on to task initiation, so that getting going and leading perhaps that little starter for some individuals before they can then take over and get going.
And I think we discussed also sort of task paralysis in that, and what does that look like and how can that have an impact. And then also I think, was this the episode that you said about your ability to tidy your bedroom and you kept getting distracted?
My ponies.
with your ponies, that was it. Yeah, so we had some lovely insight into Abby's childhood. What episode was it that your son came in?
I think it was at the end of episode 4. He absolutely loved doing his little tagline at the end. He wants to come back and do more.
Oh, we're gonna have to get him in as a guest, I think.
That will be absolute mayhem.
We then also went on to our 2 last episodes that we did record whilst I was poorly. I keep making sure people know I was poorly.
It's not how she sounds all the time.
So we did about working memory and sort of the short-term memory and working memory and how they interlink and how you can support with that as well. And then our last episode, which was last week, so quick, go listen before you listen to the rest of this episode. We did impulsivity, and we had Eleanor in.
Yes, and she was talking about the differences between impulsive thoughts and intrusive thoughts, and there's a very key distinction between them.
That was really interesting, because I think as well, I think we said in that episode, like the world of social media and things like that, the two have got a little bit confused in terms of what is actually an intrusive thought and what's just an impulsive thought. So Eleanor gave us some great insights on that as well. So so that was our rundown of the episodes that we've done so far.
Please do go back and listen if you've missed any of them.
Yeah. We can't tell you enough. Do listen.
Do comment, do share. We love hearing that people are sharing it with other people. We love seeing all of your comments. We've got our email address, which is, I'm going to go over to Natalie because I always get it wrong.
Then send, oh no, I've got it wrong then as well. thesensationallife@bibic.org.uk.
So please do send in any emails, any stories that you might have, anything that you enjoyed from the podcast, or even ideas on what we could cover for upcoming seasons. We'd love to have your input.
Yeah, definitely. And we also have really enjoyed sort of replying to your comments on Spotify as well. So it's been lovely for us to listen to those, read those, and then sort of have an opportunity to respond to you as well. So do keep commenting as well.
And shout out to our listeners in Poland that I saw the other day.
Yeah, we went and looked at our demographic as well. We were quite very pleased with that.
And England, obviously. We love you, England.
No, we were proper chuffed. We've got a different sort of audience and things like that. So the joys of sort of using Spotify is it tells us where people are coming from. So we've got 1% from Poland and 1% from Greece as well. We really do appreciate you listening as well. Also plug in our social media, because you can keep up to date when our next episodes are coming, because like we said, we've got some really great specials coming, potentially our next season being on education and schools and things like that. So keep an eye on our social media. So don't forget to go over, like, follow. You can message us on socials as well if you've got any questions, because again, we really want to do some question times in our podcast too.
And I think that kind of wraps us up for this season. We're going to pass you on over to our little recording of our CEO Pip, just to round everything off. But we do hope that you can join us on Pause on the Parrot, which is Sunday the 27th of April. Whether that's coming down with your little dogs, or just joining us for a walk, or even just stopping by and saying hello.
We're going to have what's it called when you have one of those big tents?
Gazebo?
That's the one. We're going to have a gazebo.
A gazebo?
Told you, language is not my thing. We're gonna have a gazebo. We're gonna have the walk. Yeah, so come say hello. You can get tickets for the walk on our website. There is a link on there, or take a look at our socials. I know on Instagram it's in our bio and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, get your tickets and do come and join us, because it'll be lovely to meet some of our listeners in person. But yeah, so we're going to go over to Pip now for her to bring us to the end of our final season.
Oh, we've done it.
Final season.
Final season, first season. Wow. Wow. Monday morning, everyone. Monday morning.
Our first season of The Sensational Life with Bibic.
Thank you for listening, everyone.
Thank you. So to round off our podcast, well, our first season, we've got our wonderful CEO Pip in. So Pip, do you mind telling us what you do and why you do it for Bibic?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me here. So my name is Pip Buckley. I am the CEO here at Bibic. I've been here for since 2018. So what's that? Nearly 7 years. My role is to lead the charity, look at the strategic direction, get involved in operations, and support our wonderful team.
And we hear you've been an avid listener of our podcast and really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
One of our many listeners. And what have your thoughts been on the podcast been?
I think the podcast is fantastic. I think you've both done an incredible job. I love the conversational style. I love the fact that you bring realistic strategies and examples, that you bring in your own experiences. And I think a lot of families can really relate to it.
Amazing. So, what do you think the direction of the charity is? What do you see in our future in terms of being sort of Bibic in all the directions that we're going?
I think we've got a lot of exciting things to look forward to. I think we want to continue to develop our strategic pillars, the direction of our charity, sustainable income in what's quite a difficult climate for fundraising, and really reach as many people as we possibly can all over the UK. Our core USP is our holistic bespoke therapy. So we want to continue to build that. And you never know, maybe start working with older people as well.
Amazing.
Thank you so much, Pip. It's lovely to hear a little bit.
Yeah.
And share with our listeners. And we look forward to welcoming you back at another point as well, because I believe you've got some insights on other bits and pieces.
Yeah, I'd really like to come on the podcast and talk about sort of behaviour, challenging behaviour, from my background and my skills, and I look forward to seeing you then.
Because isn't your sister does a lot around animal behaviour as well? So I think we might have her coming on the podcast at some point too.
Yes, my sister is a canine hydrotherapist and a behaviour technician, so she works a lot with animals, specifically dogs. And my other sister's also a teacher, she's a Senko, so you never know, you could have her on as well.
And will you be coming to our Porter on the Parrot event? That's coming up, isn't it?
Absolutely, I will be bringing both my dogs, BB, who is a rescue English Bulldog, and Sabre, who is a rescue slightly larger animal. Yeah, I really look forward to it. So I hope to see a lot of our listeners at the Parrot in April.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Pip, for joining us and rounding up our first season of the podcast.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Stay sensational.